90-Day Fiancé. Tigerlily sues Adnan for $1 million embezzlement scandal. Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive into the wild, unpredictable, and downright shocking universe of 90-Day Fiancé. If you thought you had seen every scandal, every messy breakup, and every jaw-dropping courtroom battle, think again, because today's story might just take the cake. We're talking about Tigerlily and Adnan. Yes, that Tigerlily, the outspoken star who never shied away from speaking her mind, and Adnan, the charismatic yet controversial figure whose charm seemed to captivate audiences, even when the cameras weren't rolling. But now, the spotlight isn't on their love story, it's on a lawsuit. Tigerlily is suing Adnan for a jaw-dropping $1 million, accusing him of embezzlement in a scandal that has left fans stunned, castmates whispering, and legal experts scratching their heads. So grab your tea, grab your snacks, because in part one of this multi-part deep dive, we're unpacking who Tigerlily and Adnan really are, how their story began, and how things spiraled into accusations of betrayal, money laundering, and courtroom drama. Buckle up, it's going to be a long one. Before we get into the lawsuit, we need to go back, way back. Who exactly is Tigerlily, and why does her name carry so much weight in the 90-Day Fiancé fandom? Tigerlily first burst onto the scene as a bold, unapologetic cast member. She wasn't the type to fade into the background. With her vibrant personality, fiery arguments, and a flair for the dramatic, she quickly became a fan favorite. But Tigerlily's journey wasn't just about love on the show, it was about survival. She came from a background filled with challenges, and fans admired her resilience. For many viewers, she was more than just another reality TV star. She represented strength, independence, and the courage to stand up for herself. Her relationship with Adnan, however, became the central focus of her storyline. From the very beginning, the couple was explosive, passion, romance, and tension all rolled into one. And while fans couldn't look away, some began to wonder if there were cracks forming beneath the surface. Now, let's talk about Adnan. Smooth-talking, charming, always dressed to impress, Adnan knew how to make an entrance. From the moment he appeared on the show, audiences were divided. Some loved his confidence, while others saw red flags from the very beginning. Adnan had a reputation. Whispers about his business dealings circulated both on and off-screen. Rumors that he had shady connections, financial problems, or even a double life began spreading across online forums. But like many 90-Day Fiancé stars before him, Adnan shrugged it all off with a smile. Still, when you put Tigerlily and Adnan together, it was like watching fireworks. They laughed, they fought, they cried, and fans were hooked. But behind the cameras, their love story wasn't just about romance. It was also about money, trust, and control. Here's where things start to get complicated. Money has always been a big theme in 90-Day Fiancé. Who pays for the visas? Who supports who financially? Who controls the household budget? And in Tigerlily and Adnan's case, these questions weren't just about daily expenses. They were about investments, business ventures, and large sums of cash. Tigerlily had been working hard to build her own brand. Between her social media endorsements, appearances, and side hustles, she was making a name for herself outside of the show. Adnan, meanwhile, claimed to be running a series of business ventures that promised big returns. At first, it seemed like a power couple dream. But soon, cracks began to show. Fans noticed Tigerlily making subtle comments about money being missing, or about not having access to certain accounts. Reddit threads started buzzing with speculation. Was Adnan really as successful as he claimed, or was he living off Tigerlily's income? This brings us closer to the scandal. Behind closed doors, according to Tigerlily, Adnan wasn't just mishandling money, he was allegedly embezzling it. Court documents would later reveal accusations that Adnan took funds meant for joint projects and quietly redirected them into private accounts. Tigerlily reportedly invested tens of thousands of dollars, some say even hundreds of thousands, into Adnan's so-called business ventures. These ventures, according to her, never produced results. Instead, the money allegedly disappeared into a financial black hole, with Adnan giving excuse after excuse. By the time the relationship reached its breaking point, Tigerlily was furious. She didn't just feel betrayed as a partner, she felt robbed as a businesswoman. And when the breakup finally hit, she decided to take things one step further, straight to court. And here's the bombshell. Tigerlily is suing Adnan for a staggering $1 million. The claim? Embezzlement, fraud, and breach of trust. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar with legal jargon, embezzlement basically means taking money that was entrusted to you and using it for your own purposes. In other words, Tigerlily is saying that Adnan didn't just borrow money, he secretly siphoned it off for himself. The lawsuit documents reportedly outline a paper trail, investments gone wrong, accounts that didn't add up, and transactions that Tigerlily insists were never authorized. She claims Adnan used her trust against her, manipulating her financially while putting on a facade of love. Adnan, of course, denies everything. He insists he never stole from Tigerlily and that any money exchanged between them was either a gift or a loan with mutual understanding. But the court battle has only just begun, and fans are already taking sides. Welcome back, everyone. In Part 1, we unpacked the backstory of Tigerlily and Adnan, the romance, the money questions, and the shocking decision by Tigerlily to take Adnan to court for a staggering $1 million in what she claims is an embezzlement scheme. But if you thought that was the whole story, think again. Because in Part 2, we're diving even deeper into the courtroom drama, the media firestorm, and the ripple effect this scandal is creating across the 90-day Fiancé world. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a reality TV soap opera unfolding in real life, with stakes higher than ever before. First, let's talk about the actual lawsuit. Fans managed to get their hands on the initial filings, and let me tell you, they are intense. According to Tigerlily's legal team, the allegations are clear. Adnan is accused of siphoning money from their shared accounts, manipulating financial agreements, and misleading Tigerlily into believing that her investments were safe. The total damages? Over $1 million, once interest, fees, and emotional distress are factored in. One detail that shocked fans was the mention of fake business contracts. Tigerlily claims Adnan presented her with documents, contracts that appeared official, but upon closer inspection, they had inconsistencies. Signatures that didn't match, company names that didn't exist in any registry, and promises of returns that were mathematically impossible. Her lawyers are painting the picture of a calculated scheme. Meanwhile, Adnan's legal team is fighting back hard, insisting this is nothing more than a smear campaign designed to destroy his reputation after a messy breakup. As soon as the lawsuit was filed, the media went wild. Entertainment blogs, YouTube channels, Reddit threads, and TikTok accounts exploded with commentary. Headlines screamed, Tigerlily sues Adnan for $1 million, and 90-day Fiancé stars in Courtroom showdown. Tigerlily, always outspoken, took to Instagram with cryptic posts. One story read, "You can fool the cameras, but you can't fool the truth." Another post showed her in a power suit with the caption, "Ready for battle." Fans flooded the comments, some cheering her on, others skeptical about her motives. Adnan, on the other hand, played the calm card. He went live on social media, sipping coffee, smiling, and telling his followers, there are always two sides to every story. Don't believe everything you read. He framed himself as the victim of fame, claiming Tigerlily was using the court system for attention. You know, the 90-day Fiancé cast couldn't stay quiet about this. Several former and current cast members started weighing in, some directly, some through subtweets and shady comments. One fan-favorite cast member tweeted, "Some people will sell out their own partner for clout. Sad." Many assumed this was aimed at Tigerlily. Meanwhile, another outspoken alum posted, "When someone steals from you, you fight back. Period." That seemed to be in Tigerlily's corner. Even producers reportedly commented behind the scenes. According to insiders, the network was keeping a close eye on the case because scandals like this often bring ratings, but they were also worried about the show's reputation. Too many legal battles can make the brand look toxic. Let's not forget the human side of this. For Tigerlily, this isn't just about money, it's about betrayal. In interviews, she has spoken about the deep emotional toll. She described nights of crying, days of panic attacks, and the feeling of being completely blindsided. Imagine putting your heart, your trust, and your hard-earned money into someone you believe loves you, only to later feel like they were using you all along. Fans rallied around her, sharing their own stories of financial betrayal. Social media turned into a support group, with hashtags like #JusticeForTigerlily trending for days. But of course, not everyone believed her. Some critics argued she was exaggerating for attention, while others accused her of trying to stay relevant in the spotlight. Now, let's get into Adnan's side, because he's not going down without a fight. His lawyers argue that all of Tigerlily's claims are baseless. They say she knew exactly where the money was going, that every investment was discussed, and that any risks were part of the deal. In fact, Adnan's team claims that Tigerlily benefited financially from some of his ventures before things went south. They also argue that the supposed fake contracts were misunderstandings, misprints, or drafts, not fraudulent documents. Most shockingly, Adnan filed a counterclaim, accusing Tigerlily of defamation and intentional emotional harm. He's asking the court for damages of his own, saying her public accusations have ruined his businesses and cost him clients. So now, instead of one lawsuit, we've got a legal war, claims and counterclaims, accusations and defenses. And the truth? Well, it's getting harder and harder to untangle. At this point, it's not just the judge who matters, it's the fans. In the 90-Day Fiancé universe, public opinion can make or break a cast member's career. On Reddit, fans are divided. One popular thread reads, "Tigerlily deserves justice. She carried him, and he drained her." Another thread says, "She's lying. She just wants clout and cash." YouTube commentators have been breaking down the legal filings line by line. TikTok creators are making skits, reenacting their arguments. Memes are spreading like wildfire. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's a fandom phenomenon. So where do we go from here? Court cases take time, and this one is likely to drag out for months if not years. But already, part 2 of this saga has shown us just how messy things have become. Tigerlily is standing firm, saying she won't back down until justice is served. Adnan is fighting tooth and nail, insisting he's the real victim. And fans? Well, they're hooked. If part 1 was about betrayal and the filing of a lawsuit, part 2 is about escalation, the media frenzy, the emotional fallout, and the legal counterattacks that are turning this into one of the biggest scandals in 90-Day Fiancé history. And trust me, we're only getting started. In part 3, we're going to look at the trial preparations, leaked evidence, shocking testimonies, and the way this scandal might change the show forever. Stay tuned. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the final chapter of what has easily been one of the most shocking, dramatic, and unforgettable scandals in 90-Day Fiancé history. We've walked through the love story of Tigerlily and Adnan. We've seen the lawsuit unfold. We've watched the media frenzy and the counterattacks. And now, it's time for the ending. Because this isn't just reality TV anymore. This is reality in the courtroom. In this ending part, we're diving deep into the climax of the case, the testimony, the verdict, and the aftermath that left fans speechless. So buckle up, because if you thought the scandal was explosive before, wait until you hear how it all came crashing down. The courthouse was packed. Reporters filled every bench, microphones and cameras waiting outside the doors, fans holding homemade signs like "Justice for Tigerlily" and "Free Adnan." It felt less like a legal proceeding and more like a Hollywood premiere. Inside, the tension was electric. Tigerlily entered in a sharp, tailored suit, head held high. Adnan followed, cool and collected, adjusting his cufflinks like he was walking into a fashion shoot instead of a courtroom. The judge wasted no time. This was it, the final showdown. Both sides had presented weeks of evidence, and now it was down to testimony, closing arguments, and the truth, whatever that turned out to be. When Tigerlily took the stand, the courtroom went silent. She didn't cry. She didn't shake. She spoke with the confidence of someone who had been waiting years to finally be heard. She described how she trusted Adnan with everything, her love, her future, and her finances. She talked about how he promised her business ventures, secure investments, and a life built on partnership. And then she detailed the betrayal, the missing funds, the fake contracts, the endless excuses. At one point, she looked directly at Adnan and said, "You didn't just steal my money.
You stole my peace of mind.
You stole my faith and love." The jury was visibly moved. Even some of Adnan's supporters shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Tigerlily wasn't just telling her story. She was painting a picture of systematic manipulation, of a woman who had been played by someone she thought she could trust. But Adnan wasn't about to go down quietly. When it was his turn, he took the stand with that same charm that once captivated Tigerlily, and maybe even some of the jury. He admitted there were financial losses. He admitted mistakes had been made. But theft? Embezzlement? Fraud? Absolutely not, according to him. Adnan painted Tigerlily as a willing participant, someone who knew the risks and was now blaming him because the ventures didn't succeed. His lawyers doubled down. A failed investment is not a crime. Regret is not fraud. They argued that Tigerlily, hungry for fame and desperate to remain relevant, was twisting a failed business relationship into a legal drama to keep herself in the spotlight. It was smooth, it was calculated, and for a moment, you could feel the doubt creeping into the courtroom. Was this really embezzlement? Or just a bitter breakup turned lawsuit? Then came the twist no one saw coming. Tigerlily's lawyers introduced a series of emails and bank statements that had been kept sealed until now. In these emails, Adnan allegedly admitted to moving funds without telling Tigerlily. In one message, he even wrote, "She'll never know. I'll cover it later." The courtroom gasped. Adnan's lawyers scrambled, arguing context, claiming the messages were about something else entirely. But the damage was done. The jury had seen the words. They had seen the transfers lining up with Tigerlily's accusations. It was the smoking gun Tigerlily needed. The look on her face said it all: relief, vindication, and a kind of sorrow that this was what it had come to. The closing arguments were fiery. Tigerlily's team hammered the theme of betrayal and deceit. "This isn't about a failed investment," her lawyer declared. "This is about trust being weaponized. This is about a man who used love as a mask to commit theft." Adnan's team, meanwhile, begged the jury not to confuse heartbreak with crime. If every failed relationship ended in $1 million lawsuit, they argued, our courts would collapse under the weight of broken hearts. Both sides made compelling cases. Both sides left the jury with a heavy burden. The jury deliberated for hours. The world waited outside, Twitter threads live updating, YouTube channels streaming reactions, fans holding their breath. And then, finally, the jury returned. The foreperson stood, voice steady. "We find in favor of the plaintiff, Tigerlily." Gasps filled the courtroom. Tigerlily covered her face, tears streaming down her cheeks. Adnan sat frozen, his confident mask cracking for the first time. The damages awarded? $1 million. Exactly what Tigerlily had demanded. The courtroom erupted, cheers, cries, even shouts of anger from Adnan's supporters. The judge banged the gavel, calling for order, but the verdict was already making headlines around the world. Tigerlily had won.